Morning. Are you coming in then?
Good morning, and what a show we've got lined up today. Today we've got the powerhouses in, but we start off with a model TV presenter and Celebrity MasterChef winner. Lisa Snowdon is in the house. She'll be joining me in Hampshire all morning. We'll be also enjoying an incredible recipe. I said we've got amazing chefs on the show. Wait till you see these two. The former head chef of the Fat Duck, Mr. Johnny Lake, is back. And if that wasn't good enough, we've got the one and only Claude Bosi will be here as well. He's sharing an iconic French dish. And my food adventures take him not to France, but to La Rioja in Spain, where I'll be exploring the region's famous tapas restaurants. And make sure you don't miss this week's Little Masterclass at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, where I'll be giving you an essential lesson to make perfect chicken pie. But I thought they'd kick things off today with a nice little dessert. This is a classic apple and honey jalouse, which is a French-style patisserie. But I'm going to use this amazing honey from a supplier in Oxfordshire that I'm going to introduce you to shortly. So the first thing we're going to do is make our frangipane. The frangipane is actually quite straightforward. We've got butter, sugar, we've got almonds, we've got flour, and we've got eggs. And we just pop all this into our little blender over here. So the butter and the sugar can go in first. That's going to go in there, like that. And what we want to do is just blend this all up, first of all. So just lid on, blend it all up. That's going to go in there. So you can do this in a mixer if you wanted to, with a paddle, that kind of stuff. But in essence, the whole lot just goes in. Once you've got that stage, you can then pop in the eggs. 2 medium-sized eggs. A little bit of the ground almonds. This is where you can mix and match the flavour. I've got ground almonds. You can use ground hazelnuts if you want as well, and a little bit of flour. Just a touch of flour. Then what I'm going to use is some of this amazing honey. I'm going to introduce that in a minute, but I'm going to use some of this honey as well for the actual centre of the dessert as well. But that's going to go in there. Pop the lid on. We just blend that up. Doesn't take very long. Blend it all up like that. It's a good idea to make sure the butter is slightly softened for this, and then lift off the little blade. Clean that up a bit, and there you have your classic little bit of frangipane done. And then pop it into a little piping bag. So this is your nice little bit of frangipane. This is what you'd use for your pear and almond tarts, your plum and almond tarts, stuff like this. So this is kind of like a tartlet in itself, really, but it's using puff pastry. It's actually really simple to make. It looks quite complicated, but really easy. So we've got our nice little bit of frangipane. Now, also what I've got in here is some apple puree. Now, you can actually use apple sauce out of a jar, as in the savoury apple sauce, which you put with your pork. That will work as well for this one, because it's nice and sharp. So you use Bramley apples for this, because you've got enough sweetness going on with this, with the honey and everything else. So the sharpness adds a nice little tanginess. So I've used a little bit of Bramley apples, tiny bit of water, a little bit of butter, hardly any sugar. That goes into there, into a nice little puree. Allow that to go cold, because this is the next bit. This is all about the pastry bit. Now, the great thing about this, and using your ready rolled all butter puff pastry, because you need to buy the stuff that's made out of all butter, then you can start to make this quite simply. You don't actually need a rolling pin for this, because you're using the size and the shape of the pastry is perfect for what we're about to do. So you've got your nice little bit of pastry over here. Now, rather than cut it right in the centre, my best advice for this is just take it just off centre. You can see that. This is going to be the top, this is going to be the bottom. So ever so slightly off centre, you make one piece larger than the other, like that. You can see that if I take this bit and lay it over the top, you can see it's ever so slightly bigger. Then what you do is you take this, pop it onto our little tray, and then what I would do is keep this cold, because this is the bit that's important for the end bit. Keep that cold and in the fridge while you do the rest of it. So we're going to take our lovely bit of frangipane. Now, while I'm piping this, I can see down the line now, we've got our amazing suppliers. So we're about to introduce the two suppliers now. We're about to go to Oxfordshire to speak to Nigel and Joe Eden from Honeys of Henley. Welcome to the show, guys. I can see you looking there as well, seeing what I'm doing with your amazing honey. And you've been joined by a third party. Who's this? Who's this in the middle of you?
Oh, this is our little helper, Nessie. She comes out with us sometimes when we go to work.
Now, tell me about this, because you started off life, didn't you, Nigel, as a gardener? That's where it all started, was it?
It was, yeah.
many years ago now.
And then how do you end up from being a gardener to doing honey? Did you actually tend to somebody's beehives there, or?
It started off as a bit of a hobby, really, and then progressed from there. Started off with a few hives and rapidly multiplied.
But the actual work, people don't realise the amount of work that goes involved. I mean, you started off with just a few hives. Joe, how many hives have you got now? Because you're stuck behind a few of them now. You've got loads of them.
We're really, really busy with our hives. We've got about 150. As Nigel said, we started with about 3.
Yeah.
Rapidly went to 8. Rapidly became 30. And at that point, about 9 years ago, we decided to do a proper increase in terms of wanting to become a viable business. And we have achieved that. It's very, very hard work. In the season, which is kind of March through to October, we pretty much work 7 days a week. It's a farming type of work. When you're on, you're on.
Well, as well, and it's also in the winter. I don't imagine in the winter as well. You're out dressed appropriately now, but in the winter you've still got to look after them, haven't you? Really, a lot of people have this idea, this lovely lifestyle of having their own beehive and looking after them, but you would urge probably not to get them to do it, because it's things can happen, and if you don't look after them, then sadly they can die quite quickly.
They can, yeah, this is true. We need to make sure that they've got sufficient stores to see them through. And I mean, we only the other day we were moving hives from a flooded area. One of the apiaries flooded, so we were there almost knee deep in water, dragging hives out. So it's not always easy.
So if you were advising anybody how they can help you in terms of help you do your job, I guess the best way to do that is look at if they have got a little bit of grass, if they have got a little bit of land, a little bit of ground they can plant up, and wildflower, maybe something like that. That helps the entire ecosystem, doesn't it? Really?
It does. Yes, that's what needs to. Yeah, it's a really good way of doing it. Little patch of wildflowers makes a huge difference, and if everyone did it throughout the country, there would be far more forage for bees and other pollinators as well.
This is one of the. Sorry.
So go on, carry on.
I say this is one of our most common conversations when we are with customers at our market stalls, which is, the poor honeybees, we must help them. And what we say to our customers is we actually need to look after all of our insects. All of them are part of our need for pollination. And us having honeybees is important, but it does go beyond that. And a little rough corner in your garden, leaving some plants to overwinter. They might be ugly, but they could be a wonderful nesting place for something that needs to hibernate.
Well, hopefully I'm going to teach people how to use this. This honey, by the way, is absolutely beautiful. I've used a little bit of honey over the top. I'm just going to show you this next bit, because this is the crucial bit. So I've taken my pastry, I've taken a little bit of egg on here. I've got my frangipan, my apple and everything else. You can use sliced apple if you wanted to. You don't have to use the cooked apple. But the next bit is the crucial bit. You start off with your little bit of pastry like this. So you've got a nice little bit of pastry. There we go. Now, I use a touch of flour for this one. So a tiny little bit of flour helps you, both sides. There we go. And then what you do is you fold this over, and then quickly but carefully get yourself a knife and you cut. So I like to leave about a centimetre gap in this edge of the pastry over here. And what you want to do is cut through with a knife. And cut all the way through, right the way down like that. So you've got this, it cuts through the fold area part of it. So this is the bit that's non-folded, this is the bit that's fold. And you cut all the way through, like this, right the way down, keeping that sort of edge right. And then what we can do is lift this pastry on here, stick that bit on there, and then fold this bit over. And if you fold this bit over, you get these lovely little lines in there, like that. And then when you press it down, it seals. And then we can cut round this to produce this amazing little Jallouise, or this part of it. Hopefully I'm doing this justice over here as well. Now both of you, you kindly sent me these beautiful honey. Like I said, the honeycomb and everything else, but this magical letter. So thank you very much for this. I love reading stuff like this. You sent me this amazing letter. I love this because it's almost like an instruction kit of what to look for. Because you mentioned it, we're in the winter now. You're in the summer. Most people think of honey but you're producing honey all year round, I take it. And the great thing about honey, it differs from year to year, month to month, season to season. Just because it's the same hives behind you, it can produce different honey all year round.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, at least 2 different crops of flavour in a year, at least.
So we're talking about the flavour. I've got on here this amazing honeycomb as well. If people can buy this, what do you do with it? I may presume you just eat it as natural as you possibly can, do you?
That is the very, very best way. Some people will put it with cheese because honey and cheese, as you know, is superb. But to just take a knife and cut a small piece off and to eat it as it is, the cells of honey just burst on your tongue. So you get the flavour of the honey is as natural as you could get it, as if you were a bear. You know, stick your hand in and go.
We do employ a few bears in here, to be honest with you. To be brutally honest with you, we were having that discussion before we met you as well. But this over here, what just so people know, what makes the difference between a set honey and a runny honey?
So for us, the set honey that we sell is our spring crop. We extract it, we jar it almost straight away. And most years it will set within about 2 weeks. Naturally, it will set within the jar within about 2 weeks. And then our runny honey is our summer crop. And again, naturally, it will stay runny for approximately 2 months. And that's without any interference from us. That's just the way it behaves. And it's because of different nectars. That's what nature brings to us.
So it's not you doing anything to this. It's just the natural process of the bee production from the bees themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy set honey that has been specifically mixed,
seeded,
and set up to set in the jar, but we don't. We just don't. We like the honey to kind of be what it is.
There you go. Well, we'll let you go. And hopefully I've done this justice and you can see this. I'm going to take my little Jalouse over here. We take our little bit of pastry. We brush it over with a bit of egg wash, some brown sugar, and then pop it in the oven. And then I've got one that's been in the oven over here. It takes about sort of 25, 30 minutes to cook, something like that. But you end up with this amazing pastry that we've got over here. You can then slide this off. Look at this. It's delicious, this. It really is. And then get yourself a nice plate. There we go. And then a knife. It's a good idea to use a serrated knife for this one to cut it through, but you can take a little bit for the chef and you cut this through and you've got your lovely pastry like that. And then what we do is we take a touch of clotted cream, touch of that with it on the side. And then, of course, you've got this beautiful honey as well. I'm going to use 2 different types of honey. We're going to use this little drizzle of honey over here, over there. And then finally, just a bit of honeycomb that goes with it. And then that's going to sit on top of there. Hopefully, I've done that and your bees and Nessie justice. Really, with that, I wish you all the best with it. I love ideas like this that you had. You were working as a gardener. You fell in love with this. 9 years later, you've got an amazing business. I wish you all the success with it, and thank you so much for being a part of the show as well.
Thanks, James.
Take care. Thank you very much. See you later, Nessie. Look at that. Take care. There we have it, a simple little Jalouse with this amazing honey from just up the road. Done. Now I'll be treating my guest Lisa Snowden to a dish of monkfish, chorizo, clams very shortly. But don't miss this week's Little Masterclass in chicken pie. That's coming up a little bit later. But join us again after the break. We'll be trying to answer some of your culinary questions with a little help of 2 chefs. They just happen to be Claude Bosey and Johnny Lake, 2 of the best chefs in the business. See you in a bit. now I'll be cooking a first course of monkfish for Lisa Snowden very shortly, and I'll be showing you how to make a classic chicken pie in this week's masterclass. That's coming up a little bit later. But before that, I'm here with two amazing chefs, the brilliant Johnny Lake and Claude Bossy. Great to have you back, gentlemen.
Great pleasure.
On the menu for you, Johnny, what are you going to be making for us?
I'm going to make a farinata with a fonduta piemontese.
Is that
and
like
black
pancakes?
truffle.
Is that?
It's like a chickpea pancake, kind of, Italian Riviera into France, that whole area. Different names, farinata, soca, things like that. But
Sounds pretty good. You used to that, are you, over there in France?
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
In the south, more in the south.
Now, when I read this, what you're going to be cooking, I thought, is he coming all the way here to do a sausage sandwich?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
I'm making a French posh sausage rolls.
Right.
Now, we're making saucisson brioché, which is a traditional dish from Lyon, where I'm from.
Yeah.
It will be part of the new place we're opening, and it's a great dish. It's
Fantastic.
easy to make.
That's what we're going to be doing. So Johnny and Claude will be cooking for us a little bit later on the show. But right now, I thought I'd take a look at some of it. We'd all take a look at some of the dishes you've been making at home. So here we go, guys. First up, a big well done. Now, I know Johnny's got his eye on this one, first of all. A big well done goes to Glynis Facey, who's been hard at work making this amazing Battenberg cake. How about that? Johnny, you've quite fancy a bit of that, do you?
Yeah, right about now. It's like a slice of that, cup of tea. It'd be really
That's
nice.
a proper thing, that. Yeah, so with the marzipan and stuff like that.
Really, really nice.
Right, difficult to make. Next up, we've had a photograph from John and Elizabeth Midgley, who have recreated a venison dish that John Hooker made on the programme. How good does that one look?
Yeah.
Venison's quite a difficult thing to get right, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
Cooking on that looks great.
Yeah.
Cooking's perfect. There you go. And next up, photograph comes all the way from Dubai. This is from Rich Hurley, who was inspired to do more cooking in his pizza oven after watching the show. That looks like lamb to me.
Not
in the old
exactly
pizza oven.
Just looks amazing.
Not a great fan of lamb, are you, really?
No, it's fine.
Exactly. You don't like lamb at all, do you?
No.
None of it. Actually, no.
No. This is my mum's fault.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Well, there you go.
Oh,
You like it
it's
anyway, and I
mum's
like it.
fault. Yeah.
And finally, top marks this week goes to Martin Cooper, who made salmon en croûte. We've got sausage en croûte, but salmon en croûte.
That's hard
It
work.
looks cooked to perfection there. It's quite a difficult dish to get
That's
right
a hard
there.
one, yeah. Yeah.
It's hard work there, but paid off in the end. Good job there, Martin. Right, now, as well as a few photographs, we've had loads of questions about food and cooking, so I thought I'd put a few of these two chefs to the question time right now, and we'd answer a few of them for you as well. So first up, I'm going to put my glasses on for this one, because we've got some good questions in here. I think these are good, right? So for this one, Graham in Sussex, what do chefs think about online restaurant reviews? Is it fair that one grumpy customer can destroy a restaurant reputation with 1-star review?
No, I don't. I mean, on my view, it's important to read them. If you got one review and it's bad, okay, maybe you didn't like it, or maybe it was a wrong night. If you get 2 or 3 of the same issue, you do have a problem.
Yeah.
Donc, it's very, from my view, we always read them.
I think all restaurants are very reactive.
Yes.
As well, I think that's the
Yes.
nature of hospitality, aren't we? Really, you react to different things. You don't sit and.
No. You have to, and you have to listen, because at the end, it's maybe not always right. I can't believe I'm saying that, but.
It's true though, because there's some cases where people have written reviews and never even been there.
No.
You know?
Yeah,
That's. But I think what Claude said is important. Like when there's a pattern.
Yes.
You know, but it's hard to look at them because it's a very personal thing, your restaurant, and but
It's like having your school report, but online.
yeah, you got to remove yourself from it a little bit.
Yeah, none of us want that on there. Exactly.
It's worse for me, though.
Right, David from Norfolk. This is a really good question. Great question for you two. If you could go back and in time and do a service at any restaurant you used to work at earlier in your career, where would you go and why?
Me, I will go back to L'Arpège, Alain Passard.
Yeah.
I think he was a genius, and he was somebody who was working with instinct. And
When was that in your life? Well,
94?
you were
Very
14.
young, very young. Very young.
Exactly.
94. I was 18. That was 20. Well, it's 1972. Yeah, I was 22. Yeah.
22.
Yeah, it was amazing. I learned so much. I learned cooking with this guy.
Okay. What about yourself?
It's a very good question.
Because you held the helm of the Fat Duck for so many years. Would it be there or would you be before that?
I don't think so, because I think the one restaurant that sticks out is the first restaurant when I moved to Europe to work in better restaurants and moved to Italy. And the first restaurant I worked at there, and I worked there it was in Liguria, in Savona. It was a restaurant called Asporcacciuna. And I just think that I didn't appreciate it enough when I was there.
Yeah.
I was there for a year and a half, 2 years, and it was all new, so everything was happening, and it was, you know, but I don't think I realized at the time how good the produce was that I was using there. Fish like I'll never see again, and you know, coming in the back door, like fishermen coming in.
It's quite
at
amazing
night.
that you both remember that. I remember,
Yeah.
for me, it would be 1990. I was probably 18 years old. I was in London. It was in Frith Street, and it was Alistair Little.
Yeah.
And I was working there, and I remember cooking calf's liver, and he taught me how to cook calf's liver properly, and I've never forgotten it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where with the sauce and everything, and he made the sauce from the leftover gubbins in the pan. It was proper honest cooking, I think. Before then, you'd had sauces and already pre-done. This was all just
Finished in a
honest
pan,
cooking
yeah, that's
on
it,
the plate.
yeah.
It was just, it was fantastic. And
I think it's always when you see the transition, when you come from learning to actually understanding what you want to do.
yeah.
And this, for me, that's what it was.
I think it's good question so
Yeah,
far.
very good.
So there's another one. We've got Barbara Rogers. Loved your recipe for tartan. It's won awards with the family, apparently. I did a tartan little masterclass. I want to know, is there any other fruit or vegetable you can use in a tartan? I did a classic apple tartan. This is Barbara. What would you recommend with a tartan? Stick with the apple or?
I mean, apple is my favorite, and I think it's wrong to change it, but you can try with pineapple. Pineapple works very well because you've got a good amount of cooking you can give to it.
I've had nice ones with pears.
Yeah,
and
pears,
stuff,
yeah.
but apple's got to be the one.
But it's not just that. You can use vegetables as well.
Yeah.
You can use
I've seen onion, shallots.
Endive,
Yeah.
chicory endive.
You can use shallots and bits and pieces like that. That isn't a shotgun going away, by the way. That's a crow scarer. We've got the farmer's just planted some plants out there. We're going to get a lot of this during the day, really. But it's to stop the pigeons going and wrecking his plants as well. But that's that one. So this is a good one. I've got access to snipe and woodcock. How would you prepare and how would you cook these game birds? Secondly, can you freeze them? Yes, you can freeze them. I'll answer that. That's from Mark. Snipe or woodcock, what would you do?
Woodcock for me is one of my favorites. And I will cook it very slowly with everything inside.
Yeah.
You cook it all slowly with soft butter, just bath it in butter until the back's opening and the inside's falling out.
Yeah.
Take the falling out, roll it in butter, make it on toast. Oh, it's delicious. You just think about it. You
I
want it to-
don't have a lot of experience with snipe, but woodcock, the flavor's amazing.
I don't
And,
tend to use a lot of snipe because you just think when you think about that little sort of bird, and snipe is a little bird, it travels so far to get over here.
Yeah.
You know, it's just tiny little thing. No, I just think it's just
No, woodcock for me is the king of the bird too.
There you go. That's that one. So we've got a couple more questions. Paul from Blackpool. Why do some people put sugar on salmon when curing? This is the salt and the sugar. Surely salt is the only thing.
I mean, I just put salt. I leave it less than you will leave it with salt and sugar. Maybe because if you want to put the salt and sugar, give the time to cure it a bit deeper. But
I think it's one of those ones that, like, because I have a dish in the rest at Trivet at the moment. You know, 2 different types of fish. It's not salmon, but
Yep.
they're cured. And yeah, it's like it's a combination of sugar and salt, and it's one of those ones like it's just what you were taught. You know, I don't know. I don't actually know why. I mean, I mean, all of that is to kind of take a lot of the moisture out of it. You know,
exactly.
but.
So I've got one more question for you. This is again to do with game. Aaron would like to try cooking muntjac. Muntjac is this tiny little deer, small little deer. Have you got any good recipes? There are loads of muntjac around here, all over the place. Have you got any recipes for muntjac? Do you have it on the menus or?
I've got it on the menu at the moment.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do a muntjac. We do a chou farci with the hanche, the shoulder, and the rack is so small we cook it.
Yeah.
We made this lovely chou farci and I serve it with lobster.
Wow.
It's delicious.
That's all right. Yeah, we've got venison on the menu, not muntjac.
Right.
But I mean, it's all it's just a small
Similar,
deer.
yeah.
But I think best way with that. I think like you're saying, any of the kind of leg meat, things like that,
Braising
braise it, pull it down, and then kind of either a chou farci, something like that.
Any of the prime cuts? They
Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
think
simplest.
grill and kind of like high heat and low, like really really low with some kind of fat.
Yeah.
And then for me, just really quick on high heat,
Got it.
and that's it.
That's it,
Rest,
yeah.
cut it.
They're great questions today. Really, very chefy questions as well, really. I enjoyed that one. There we go. Right, Claude and Johnny will be cooking for us a little bit later on this morning. You don't want to miss this week's little masterclass on chicken pie I've got for you. That's coming up in a bit. But I'll see you after the break when I'm in the kitchen with my guest, Lisa Snowden. I'll see you then. Welcome back. Now we're teaching you how to make proper chicken pie in this week's Little Masterclass. And we've got a certain Claude Bossy in the house who will be treating us to a saucisson brioche. But first, I don't know why, to be honest, I'm making this next dish when I'm with a top model, a presenter, and a woman who won Celebrity MasterChef. She should be cooking on TV. She just goes to show that cooking on TV is a walk in the park. It's the brilliant Lisa Snowdon! Ching, 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 ching.
So
first, well, you should be doing this, to be honest with you.
I thought there was a catch. I thought it was too good to be true. What, I'm going to come, you're going to cook for me, I'm going to drink some delicious wine. You're going to get me cooking now, aren't you?
That's I'm not, actually.
You lure me here and then you make me cook.
No, I'm not, actually.
Good,
I'm just pleased that you're here, for one, but I'm actually quite happy cooking for you because we get guests on the show and there's the likes and the dislikes and everything else. You have got very, very little dislikes in terms of food.
It was just pickles.
There's not many. That's about
it,
really.
Gherkins. That was the only thing that I was like, no, thanks.
Well, I was looking at it going, there's not many things she doesn't like, really, so this is kind of up to me. And I thought with this, for the first dish, we're going to cook chicken for your second one, but I thought I'd do a little dish that on my Spanish travels, and this is a dish that... I've never done this before. I'm just going to throw this all together because I love ingredients like this. So we've got some tomato pulp. It's monkfish. I know you love that.
Love it.
We've got a few clams. We've got a little bit of chorizo, some fennel and some smoked paprika. So this is how cooking should be, I think. It's just sort of make it up as we go along. But the first thing I do is cook the clams ready for that. So we're just going to take a little bit of butter, some shallot in here.
I thought that they took just so little time to cook that you wouldn't cook them straight
Yeah,
away.
but I want the juice from this. So the whole idea is I want to make the sauce.
Okay.
I don't know why I should be telling you this. You should be knowing all this.
Secret. I mean, I can't cook everything.
Look, we got the garlic gone in here, and then you use a little bit of white wine in there. And like I said, it's very, very quick and simple to cook. And we take the lovely clams that we've got in here. Now, these clams, all around the south coast, we've got some amazing clams over here, but these are going to go in. Yeah. They're going to just stew nicely, and meanwhile, at the same time, I'm going to pan-fry this amazing monkfish that we've got over here. Now, first of all, I want to talk about your career, really, because modelling wasn't the first thing for you, really, was it? It was drama.
Yeah, well, I went to performing arts school.
I know, but not just any performing arts school, the performing arts school.
I went to Italia Conti. It's a brilliant school, and I went when I was 14, actually, but I didn't plan to go. I went there and did the audition because the dance teacher that I was doing... I was basically loved theatre and dancing, so I used to go to dancing after school every day when I was, like, sort of 11, 12, 13, 14, and it was exhausting, so you're trying to do all your schoolwork but also go to classes after school. Yeah. So anyway, we went to London, did the audition, and they accepted me on the day, which was really unheard of, but the headmaster was like... she's not the greatest singer and she's not the greatest dancer. And I was like, OK, so this is sort of like backhanded compliment, but there's something about her. Anyway, I wasn't supposed to get accepted and I wasn't supposed to leave mid-term, but I ended up going to Italia Conti when I was 14, and it was great. It was a good experience.
But it was you in a nightclub that got you spotted in terms of the modelling career.
Yeah.
Was that on the cards? Were you doing stuff like that, or that was just?
They had an agency at the school, so I was doing like TV commercials and things like that. So I knew that.
That's very different, though, isn't it?
It is different. I wasn't doing photo shoots. I got scouted when I was 15 to be a model, but it just didn't feel like the right time. And so yes, when I was in a club. Dancing. I wasn't pole dancing because there's rumours that I was pole dancing, but I wasn't because that's really skillful and I can't do that. I was just dancing. I was raving, and I was grooving. And so I got asked to do modelling, but I'd done all these other things and I'd auditioned for other people, and I got a lot of like knockbacks. Yeah. So when I was modelling with my portfolio and the pictures that you try and get through magazines and test shots and stuff, I did get a lot of knockbacks. People were like, no, you're not right for us. So I'm kind of used to a lot of rejection. I've got thick skin.
I did some research on you last night, and I read this book, and I'm thinking, she's just won MasterChef 2022.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a cookbook.
Was it 2022?
Oh, no, it's not a cookbook.
Oh, I know.
I get this book yesterday. This has opened my eyes into stuff that I didn't know about at all. And do you know what? Well, anyway, tell me about it. Tell everybody about it.
OK, so this is my first book.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right. So it was 2021 I won MasterChef, and I thought that it would be a cookbook that I would probably write first. But anyway, this was kind of bubbling away. I was doing a lot of stuff in women's health, learning about what was happening to me. 10 years ago, I was kind of in my early perimenopausal stages of my life, and I didn't know what was happening to me. So I started to feel very peculiar, very strange, very emotional, quite unwell. And so I wanted to write this book as the book that I wish I would have had 10 years ago. So it's just kind of just throwing all the nitty-gritty into the mix and realising that it's just a transitional phase. It's not forever.
I have to say, cookbooks are a tremendous amount of work, and I know because I've done 30-odd of them. I've been doing it a long time.
So much work.
A lot of work. This you've been at every single part of this. This is, I mean, there's tens of thousands of words, and it appears like, I don't know whether you've had a ghostwriter.
No, I haven't.
Because what I've been reading, I've known you for quite a while.
Yes, you have.
It's you. You know what I mean?
You can tell by the way I've written it, I think, that it's the way I speak. And it's really easy to read. And they did offer me a ghostwriter. I think they probably do that when you get deals a lot of the time. I don't know. But I was like, no, if I'm going to do something, it has to be my words. I can't have somebody else write it. I had a great editor, don't get me wrong, when I was like, where does this fit? You know, she put the puzzle together, and so she was fantastic. But I remember sending off my first draft of, like, she said to me, you can either write 65,000 words and send it to me at the end of the whole thing. And I was like, absolutely not. I have to send it to you in chapters. Because you imagine, at the end of my deadline, I send 65,000 words, and she's like, this is terrible.
Well, I'm going to talk to you about the chapters because I was reading this. I'm going to clean my hands for this. I was reading this last night. You've actually got recipes in here.
You don't have to worry, James. I'm not going to take over your territory.
Well, you've got recipes in it. The whole chapter, the second chapter is the one after that. Is Anyway, it's daytime TV. But anyway, that's that one. But you've got. Where did your love of food come from then? Where did that come from? Because I've got to mention that obviously MasterChef and stuff like that. I didn't know you were doing this, and I wish anybody that does it and that knows me would actually phone me up. I'd love to be able to help people out doing it as well.
I should have called you because there were some dishes that were like, do I have enough time to do this? You know, it was like a dish fit for the Queen, and God bless her, she was still around when we did it. And I was like, can I do a lemon parfait? Is that going to, you know, could I do a lemon posset cake? Sorry.
No, but as a model, you think...
Oh, no, I've always loved food.
Food is a...
No, I've always loved food. Food, I mean, I think about food when I was growing up, and it was quite, you know, it was sort of like convenience food. So there was a lot of tins and pies in tins and boil in the bag food and crispy pancakes, and it was really basic, but I loved it. But my favourite dish growing up, and I used to make it, was just I'd boil spaghetti, I'd grate cheese over it, and I'd just sit and watch it bubble and just brown. Wow. But it was travelling that opened my eyes to food. I remember the first time I tried guacamole, it absolutely blew my mind. And I brought all the spices back, and then I've got two younger sisters, and I was like, come and try this. And I remember, like, mashing up the guacamole and just putting all the spices in, and it was just like
hopefully I've got this for you as well. Hopefully you like this. So
hopefully. This
is the nice little bit of ragu. So we got in here. It's really nice. This is a little bit of the clam. So I've taken some of the juice from the clams. I've taken the clam meat that's gone in there. We've got some fennel, garlic in there, tiny bit of saffron, some shallot, chorizo, some tomato pulp. We've taken the tomato pulp as well. The way you do this is you grate it. To get rid of the skins, you end up with this amazing tomato pulp. That's what the Spanish use quite a lot.
Beautiful. I love that kind of food.
And then you take some black pepper over there. And then you just use this as like a little ragu. And then we're going to use this to sit on the plate. The nice little bit of monkfish that I've done over there.
Doesn't take long, does it, the monkfish?
Monkfish takes
yummy.
No more than
yummy.
A couple of minutes. So give us the name of the book then. I'll hold it up again. So give us the name of the book.
It's called Just Getting Started, which was my motto when I turned 50, because I was like, let's bring it on, ladies. We're just getting started. We're just stepping into this new power. We're owning our lives. We're doing all the things we've always wanted to do. And then there's a little lessons in life, love and menopause. There you go.
That's a shortened version. What's in the book? It goes into much more explanation. Trust me when you read it, but it's fantastic. Best of luck with it. But we're gonna get this nice little bit of ragu over here, and I'm gonna serve this up for you because I feel a celebrity MasterChef winner. I've got to really concentrate on this one.
Yeah, make it look really good, please.
Well, I'm trying my best. So what we do is we can take our little. This is our little ragu in here.
The plates are rather epic, aren't they?
Well, the plates are... I treated myself for Christmas for these little plates.
Very cool, chefy.
These little chefy plates.
You know, that was the thing I did learn on MasterChef. It is all about the presentation because I wasn't ever really into presentation. I mean, when I go to a restaurant, I'm really impressed by that. But when I'm at home, I just throw it on. Big pile of food. And you have to really refine it, don't you?
You often get... A lot of chefs will say... a lot of people will say they go into the shop and look at colourful plates.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but... For a chef, you always place it on white plates because you're creating a picture.
So your blank canvas.
And that picture, you're creating this little picture on here. So I've just put a little bit of lemon on here. I'm going to season this up with a touch of salt over the top. And then what we're going to do is take our lovely little pieces of monkfish, sit that on the top of there, one on the top of there.
Oh.
And there we have it. Lisa, my dish for you, roast monkfish with smoked paprika, chorizo, tomatoes, and fresh clams.
It looks absolutely
Easy as that.
beautiful.
Dish number one.
Thank
Done.
you.
Lisa, it's been an absolute pleasure. You're going to stick around for the rest of the day.
Yes, please.
So I'm going to cook for you a little bit later, but dive into that. Tell me what you think.
Thank you.
I'm going to have a little taste of this as well. But with the clams. And
That's amazing.
That is delicious. I'm quite happy with that.
You
Good
should,
starter.
You should be. You're very good. Did anybody ever tell you? You're quite a good chef.
Nobody says anything here. Right, I'll be treating Lisa to another course a little bit later on this morning. And there's a masterclass in chicken pie coming your way in just a tick. But I'll see you after the break. I'll be exploring another one of Spain's tapas cultures this time and the latest leg of my food adventures. I'll see you after the break. It's
Yummy.
good, that, isn't it?
It's really good.
Welcome back. Now we're chatting some more to my guest, Lisa Snowdon, a little bit later on this morning. And the Michelin star chef, Johnny Lake, will be serving up a chickpea pancake for us in just a minute. But before that, I'll take a look at some of my favourite food adventures on this show. And this one's pretty special. This week, my journey around Spain continues in La Rioja, where I'm getting inspiration from the region's tapas restaurants and cooking a few dishes of my own that celebrate the local produce. Enjoy this one. I'm in La Rioja, the wine capital of Spain, but it's also home to some amazing food. And I'm on my way to sample some of the best tapas in the region. Well, how stunning is this place? This is Logroño, the capital of La Rioja, home to just 150,000 people and a stunning cathedral. There's a big tapas culture here, and everywhere you look, there are people eating and drinking. I could get used to this way of life. I'm heading to Calle del Laurel, where I'm meeting up with Erica, a tapas-loving local who's going to take me on a bit of a bar crawl. So this is an amazing little street. Wherever you go, there's somewhere to eat, somewhere to drink. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. This is the Riojan culture just concentrated in one street.
What's unique about this street is that each bar specialises in just one tapas dish. So if you want to try a few different things, you have to hit a few bars. This is what I love about this.
Yeah, it's very fun.
OK, well, I'll leave you to order, because you know what you're doing. So you order. So
Yeah.
I'm going with whatever you recommend.
Okay, vinos jóvenes y un pincho, por favor.
So what are we tasting here, then?
You will have 3 mushrooms in a tower,
Yeah.
a little shrimp, and a garlic and olive oil sauce,
Right.
which has special ingredients that they keep as strong as the Coca-Cola formula. So
Right.
we would never
It's a
know.
secret.
It's a super secret.
Ah, here we go.
Okay, dos. Gracias. So you see the little shrimp,
Yeah.
and then the tower with the special sauce. And
that's it.
It's
Have this bit.
very fun.
I'm being watched.
She's going to show us how to really eat it.
Yeah, see?
So you have to eat
got
the
it.
full mushroom on top.
So you do that.
So I didn't knew it either.
This is the difference when you know you're a tourist, you see.
Yeah.
Apparently you do that,
That.
pull that to there, and then you eat
pick
that
it.
one.
Yeah, the first one.
And I love it, you get the juice at the end of it. So
Yeah.
every time you eat, you drop the stick a
Always
bit.
have- yeah.
I never thought I would get instructions how to eat anything, but even after all these years, I need it. Absolutely
A
brilliant.
lot of respect and appreciation on the food.
So where's next?
We're going to head to the oldest known bar in Calle Laurel. It's called Blanco y Negro.
I'm up for that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
Gracias,
you.
chicas.
Thank you. The speciality of this place is mini bocadillos, or rolls to you and me. Right, what have you got here then?
Okay, this is called the marriage. Okay?
The marriage?
The marriage is
We've
matrimonio.
only met about 10 minutes.
Matrimonio. I'm going to open mine so you
Yeah.
can see. So we have a green bell pepper
Yeah.
and 3 different anchovies. Okay, we have the one that we call boqueron, which is cured with vinegar for 10 days at least. Then we have one that they call cruda. Cruda means raw because they only cure it for 1 day, more or less. And then we have the proper anchovy,
The salty
which
one.
is the one that is salty and in olive oil, which is this one. And this is the marriage, okay?
Okay.
2 fishes from the same species,
Yeah.
but they're so different.
You don't need me to tell you
Speechless.
how good these... The anchovies are amazing, but
Yeah, this bar has always been specialized in anchovies.
it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. Time for one more stop. And Erica is shaking things up a bit. And another one.
And another one, but
This
now
looks slightly different, though, this
a
one.
little bit of contrast. Here, you have a wider offer.
Okay.
So you can choose whatever you please to eat.
So I'll
Yeah.
let you order.
Okay.
What about these things?
Oh, this is a croqueta with ham.
Okay,
bread.
sold it.
So whatever.
Sold it.
Yeah?
Yep.
Let's go for the foie then.
Sold it. It's quite nice here because you get a mixture of old and new. You
Yeah.
get the modern and the old.
Absolutely.
The classic and the
Yeah.
non-classic.
Yeah, yeah. Sí.
So this is the ham croquettes. is it?
Okay, so you have this one. It's a ham.
I'm happy.
So this is the foie. And this is a reduction of the, Rioja wine.
Look at that. Yeah, that's just the wine reduced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So
raisin bread.
this is basically duck liver, pan fried.
Yeah, dog liver.
I've seen a flat for sale around the corner.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how good that is.
It's not a bad
That-
idea.
that-
Maybe we can become neighbors.
Ah, the flavour. Really good. Cheers. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No, thank you for coming.
Delicious. I can't help but be inspired after eating those delicious dishes. So I'm heading back to my Riojan Vineyard kitchen to get cooking a couple of tapas dishes of my very own, celebrating brilliant local produce. I'm going to use this white asparagus first because I'm going to show you how to prepare this. Now, the season is very short, very similar to sort of the green asparagus, really. It's only a matter of a few weeks, a couple of months, really, at most. But the way you prep it is very, very different to the green one. And what you have to do is peel it because the outside of it can be tough and can be bitter. So what you want to do is peel the entire stalk of the asparagus like that. So, hot pan of boiling water, nice pinch of salt, a little bit of lemon, and a touch of bay leaf. You don't have to do this, but just to add a touch of flavour to this. So these are going to take a good 6 or 8 minutes in boiling water. Very different to sort of normal asparagus, which probably about a minute, no more, and then out. So while those are in, we can prepare the rest of this. And for this, I'm going to do this sort of nut brown butter. And it's a really classic way of doing it. But I'm going to incorporate 2 things, really, with this. Hard-boiled eggs and a little bit of parsley. We're going to take our parsley like this. And at the same time, chop the old hard-boiled egg like that. So you got this beautiful little colour with the eggs and the parsley. And then the sauce for this is really simple. We create a nut brown butter. Now, nut brown butter is just brown butter in a pan with the addition of lemon. So what you need to do is have everything ready for this, really. So you've got a nice hot pan, and the hot pan needs to be nice and hot. The butter goes straight in, look at that. And the key to this is its nut brown colour. You can see that straight away. I've got this nut brown colour. Lift off the lid now, because our asparagus is not far off. We can take this out. Look at the colour of that. Meanwhile, we can concentrate on the butter pan. Now, you can see now it'll just go this foaming texture, and all of a sudden it'll just drop slightly, and the noise will disappear. You hear that? Noise has just disappeared. Nut brown colour, lemon juice. take it off the heat. We then add our parsley and our egg. Mix that together. And then we can take our asparagus. Just a little drizzle of oil, maybe. Beautiful white asparagus. Like that. And then grab your nice little sauce, this nut brown sauce, over the top. Just allow the taste of the asparagus to come out. But that's that one. I just want to show you one more really quick one because I've got these amazing ceps. Just look at these. Glorious, glorious ceps. But I'm going to slice these through like that. Slice it all through. And then what I'm going to do is just drizzle this with olive oil and just barbecue them. But just look at that. It's a glorious thing is a fresh cep or a fresh morel. It's just absolutely wonderful. And to cook these, I'm just going to barbecue them really, really simply. And talking of simple, I mean, you don't get any more simple than this dressing, really. I've got some sherry vinegar here. This is a must, really, when you're in Spain. Sherry vinegar. And get what you can afford with sherry vinegar. Get the best you possibly can. And the same goes for olive oil. It's all about the quality of the ingredients. Really good sherry vinegar, really good olive oil. 3 parts oil, 1 part vinegar. To that, I'm just going to add some chopped parsley. Once the mushrooms are cooked, they go into a dish, get smothered with a delicious dressing, and finished with some ham. This is what I love about tapas. It's not bad, that, is it? Now, where have I parked my car? Tasty tapas and the Riojan sunshine. What could be better? Now, that street will stay with me forever. It is just fantastic. The really unique thing about it is you start at one end or start in the middle and go left and right, but each different restaurant has got their own tapas. So you've got mushroom tapas, and that's it. That's all they serve, that and drink, and then you move on to the next one, which is cheese, the other one, which is sardines, and you work your way along the street. It really is spectacular, and then if you really like that one, you can go back to it as well. But if you're ever in that area, you've got to go see it. It's just beautiful as well. Right, stay tuned this morning for my masterclass in chicken pie, and there's still loads more to come from my fabulous guest, Lisa Snowdon, a little bit later. But I'll see you back after the break in a couple of minutes when Chef Johnny Lake will be showcasing his Michelin-starred skills in the kitchen. I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. Now, coming up, I'll be teaching you how to make a chicken pie in this week's Diddle Masterclass, and I'll be chatting some more to my fabulous guest, Lisa Snowdon, a little bit later. But first, I'm here with the main man, Mr. Claude Bosi, and we're looking forward to a dish from another main man and to taste this amazing chef's food who has gone on to have huge success to the Fat Duck in Bray before setting up his own restaurant called Trivet in London. It's the brilliant Johnny Lake. Brilliant to have you on the show as well. You're looking forward to this as well, aren't you, really? Oh, yeah, and I'm looking forward to this as well. What are you going to be doing for us then?
So today we're in January now. We're in peak truffle season. So right. I'm going to make a farinata, which is like a chickpea pancake, okay. And with a fonduta piemontese, so with some fontina cheese. Right. It's like a cheese sauce.
It sounds very complicated, but it's actually really, the ingredients are really simple.
Yeah, super simple. Like the farinata is literally just the chickpea flour and water.
And that's what we're going to start with now. You're going to make this, the batter side of it first.
Yeah.
Really with this.
So again, just the chickpea flour there, and then just going to add water.
Now, I mentioned the Fat Duck. Before all that, you brought up in Ontario in Canada.
Yes.
You actually studied science, did you? Biology and...
physics and biology.
Not wanting to be a chef, that's what you were studying?
Yeah, not at the time. Came to me a bit later.
So when was that moment for you then? When was that decision that I thought...
I think, when I was finally having to cook for myself. And I just really liked it. And it's just one of those things... very close to where I was living, a Meals on Wheels kitchen, and I would look in every day and,
love it.
Loved what they they were doing, and just started cooking in there, and it just went from there, and I just really loved it.
One of the best chefs around. It's not bad, that is it? Really?
I mean, it's a long way from there, but it feels pretty good. Yeah.
So you've got this is a litre and a half of water in here.
So the general rule would be 3 to 1. So 3 parts water, 1 part pea flour.
Okay.
And I just started a little bit first to kind of make it a bit of a paste, and then finished the rest of water, because it's you just don't want many lumps.
So geographically, well, where is this from?
Where I learned this would have been in the Italian Riviera. Okay. So earlier in my career, I was working there, right. And in a town called Savona in Liguria. And,
I've never had it. Have you?
In Nice, we do the soca.
Yeah.
With, that's where I come from. So that's where I come from. It used to be part of the Italian coast.
Yeah. All along there,
that's it, yeah.
It's all Italian.
Yeah, soca, they eat it in the street.
The French are going to nick it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this, once it's well mixed, this is going to, you need to kind of let it hydrate for about 4 hours before you can really use it.
Would you put it in the fridge for that or not?
No, room temperature. Just leave it out.
Room temperature for that one. And then the key to this, I'm going to give me a shout when you want this out of the oven. But
yeah.
The idea is you've got to have the ladle ready. We've got the pan in the oven preheating.
Yeah, so I'm doing this in a cast iron pan.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I think there would be kind of more of a wood oven, big firewood oven with a big pan, but kind of simulating it with this cast iron pan.
So this has been preheated, 230 degrees. This is the fantastic cast iron pan that we got in there.
Yeah.
That goes straight in.
These are really nice. They're actually Swedish, these ones, but
right.
So just a small amount of oil.
It's a nicer version than the Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah.
This is a nicer version of the Yorkshire pudding.
Not far off.
Right. So does it souffle up? What's the idea of it? It stays flat?
It's going to be fairly flat, but it does get a bit thicker. Right. And, I mean, the best way is that, you know, we're going to... you want it kind of straight out of the oven, and so that it's crispy on the outside and, you know, kind of creamy inside.
So straight in there.
Just a little bit of rosemary on top.
Okay. So you keep the oven very, very hot. Like you said, wood-fired oven usually. Yeah. Happy?
Yeah, that's good.
Straight in there. And then you cook this for, what, 8 minutes, something like that?
It's going to be about 8 minutes, yeah.
That's going to go in there. Right, that's that one. I'm looking forward to it. Never had anything like this before. No, never. So, right, tell me about this. This is the fondue bit.
Yeah, this is the fonduta. So like fondue, but Italian, so no wine.
Okay.
So we've got Fontina cheese, Fontina Alpina, and we've got some just whole milk.
Right.
So we're just going to combine the two. And
now, when you came over here via Italy, you came over here, you fat duck, you've gone all that, and then you've opened this. Tell us, I mean, the amazing restaurant in London. I mean, there's wine cellars and there's wine cellars, and you guys have got probably one of the best around, certainly.
Yeah.
You brought something with you as well, but tell us the ethos thing, because there's just two of you involved in it.
Yeah, so it's myself and my partner, my business partner, Isabel, master sommelier, and we just see things the same way, and
And then your restaurant as well. You're in the kitchen, and but the wine cellar that you've got, you brought some with us. Explain to us what you've done.
All I've done is just mix the cheese and the milk. We're going to let that, again, leave that at room temperature a couple hours to kind of just, just soften up the cheese a bit. Okay. So now we're going to...
So do you mind if I pour the wine as well while we're at it?
So this, so it's a...
I know you wanted to.
The strongest flavors in this dish are the truffle and the fonduta. So we need a wine from there. Right. So this is a Barolo from Masolino. And, it's quite a masculine Barolo, I'd say. And, you've got a lot of tannins, a lot of acidity that's going to need to kind of cut through the richness of the cheese.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to turn this on.
That's on. Yeah.
I've just got a small amount of butter in here over a bain-marie. Yeah. And then we're going to add in this paste.
Okay.
We're going to cook that out, and it's going to kind of go quite soft and then hard again.
Okay.
And then, as soon as we've got that, we're going to add our egg yolks.
You're rich with the egg yolks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this is it's happening anyway now. Do you want me to chop the truffle while we're at it?
Yes. So what we're going to
do
do is we're going to use the truffle two ways. We're going to chop some, which if you could do that for me, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We're going to add that to the fonduta, and then once our farinata comes out of the oven, we're going to just shave the truffle.
So your restaurant then, obviously you spent all those years at the Fat Duck, that kind of cuisine.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to go away from that, or is it you just with your restaurant? You just.
I mean, I think we learned a lot there, obviously, and but it's a very different style to what we do now.
Because this is the first time you cook for Claude.
In this way, yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Because you've eaten at the Fat Duck.
I ate at the Fat Duck when you worked there.
I think that's probably one of the where we met. Probably
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So the butter. Can you overcook this? I take it only until you get the eggs in it. You can.
Yeah, at this stage you're just kind of cooking out the milk and the cheese, and then once the eggs are in, you could definitely overcook.
And why did you say you macerate the cheese and the milk first? What for? Just to.
It just softens the cheese, and I think it kind of. Ultimately, you're going to end up with something smoother. It can be a bit grainy if you don't give it enough time.
You could use that mix to do a cheese soufflé?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I mean, that flavor anyway, you probably add some.
But do you think with the eggs you will have enough constance?
Don't give him too many eggs. Really.
No,
He's sat in here. He's opening a restaurant. He's thinking of a nice new restaurant while he's sat in here. And this is half the menu.
I'm just thinking.
What would go nice with this? I'm just going to turn it down and leave it, and then we're just going to adjust it.
So I've got the grill on as well. Did you want the grill?
Yeah. I'm going to just probably need to adjust the texture of it with some milk just at the end. Let's have a look, see where we're at.
There you go. So straight out under the grill. And this doesn't want very long underneath there at all.
No. Is that going to close? Or?
Yeah, I'll keep my eye on it.
I think it's going to hit.
There you go.
It's okay.
I'll let you put a little bit of milk in there. So you just bring the milk for a little bit of texture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's, I guess in the same way like a fondue, the temperature is quite important. As it's going to cool, it's going to start setting more.
Right.
So.
Love that idea.
Yeah.
Well.
It's all right. Go on.
So black truffle in, I've done this dish with white truffle as well, but I think with black truffle you really need to let it kind of heat up a bit, let it infuse into it.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
There you go, it's perfect.
Okay, let's go.
Good?
Yeah.
Really good. You can hear the crunch on the outside.
Lovely. So just gonna, a little bit of white pepper on it. A little bit of salt.
I'm loving this. Never seen this before.
I can't believe you never have soca in France.
No, never seen it. Well, I've seen it, but I've never had it before.
With your pizza oven, it's easy.
Do you want to...
This one.
Got it.
Yeah.
With the pizza oven, it's easy.
with your pizza oven.
I take it you've got to get the dish really
the
quite
dish
hot.
have to be hot. If not,
Yeah.
it will get soggy and greasy.
Okay. Look at that.
This kind of turn this off.
Yep.
There.
That's off.
Okay. So I'm going to cut it now. And I think the key with this, again, is like as soon as you can out of the oven. So it's crispy here, and you get a really nice kind of creamy inside. It's a really, considering how few ingredients are, quite simple. It's quite a special thing.
It's not something you can reheat, to be honest.
Now it's all come together. Like you said, it's just...
So
this is going to taste...
As we call it at home, dirty.
This is going to taste really good.
I'll bring this over. Kind of just spin it on top. And we'll just spread it around. And then we'll try it.
If I was you, I would put another one in the oven.
Yeah.
You're going to eat this.
Finish it with some shaved truffle. And I think, look, it's we're peak truffle season now. I think it's a good thing to use. I've also done this with just like some, just some really kind of meaty mushrooms, like a maitake mushroom or an oyster mushroom, just kind of fried or grilled. Same thing. It's very good.
I'm going to nick your recipe. I just need to let you know.
It's on. I think it'll be on the website.
Yeah.
You're not the only one nicking it as well.
Yeah. And just a
really good olive oil.
Really good olive oil finish.
This is what I love about your food. It just surprises you all the time. So I'll let you put it on the plate.
We go.
Go for it.
Do I have to share this?
You get you get half each.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right? How good is that? I love all this gooey stuff. So that's it. So give us the name of this amazing dish.
So this is a farinata with a fonduta piemontese and black winter truffle.
Cooked by one of the world's best chefs there. Johnny Lake, everybody.
Thank you.
Claude?
I'm ready.
I'm not going to give you... We're going to dive in. Really good. Well, I'll share this with you, but this is... Yeah.
Well, the smell is...
I love the idea of the fondue, though.
It's amazing. That's delicious. Absolutely delicious.
It is brilliant. It's very clever.
I'm leaving nothing for the crew.
There you have it. Johnny Lake, everybody. Right, Claude will be attempting to talk to Johnny's dish a little bit later on the show, and I'll be treating Lisa Snowdon to a slap-up lunch at the end of the show. But see you here after the break, when I'll be making a step-by-step guide to a chicken pie in this week's Damascus. I'll see you then. This is amazing. I'm definitely going to do this.
Yes.
Welcome back. Now, I'll be cooking for my guest, Lisa Snowdon, very shortly, and Chef Claude Bosi will be serving up his saucisson brioche. I think that's a sausage sandwich, a little bit later on. But first, it's this week's masterclass, and I thought I'd show you how to make a real classic, a chicken pie, because let's be honest, who doesn't love a chicken pie? It's brilliant. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our chicken pie with our base, first of all. Our base contains, obviously, a chicken. We've got some beautiful chicken over here. I've got some vegetables, and I like to use a different selection of vegetables for this one. We've got a little bit of celery. I love this. Some leek, some carrot, some onion. They're the bases for this. A few little peppercorns and some bay leaf. And all we really do is you take your chicken, pop that straight in here, give my hands a wash, and then we can pop our vegetables around. So I love celery. I think it's absolutely delicious. With the vegetables, you don't have to cut them too small because this is going to take about an hour and 15 minutes to cook. So rather than cut them too small and go to a load of mush, cut them into sort of chunks. Even the onion, you can just cut that straight in half, like that. The carrots, you can just chop them in half. That can go straight in. In we go with the peppercorns, over there. A few little bits of bay leaf. And what you do is you just cover this with water, cold water, cover it all over with a lid or a bit of foil, or cling film, something like that, and leave it just gently simmering for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then allow it to cool down in the liquor. That's the key to it. So just turn it off, let it cool down in the liquor, and we end up with what we've got here. This is what we've got. So this cooked chicken. Now, the great thing about this, we can utilise the entire lot. This is the great thing about this pie, because what we do have is this amazing stock. And then what we can get is just take our vegetables. You can use the veg if you want, but I actually do this while it's cold, because you can see the chicken fat that's on the top there, that little bit of white stuff. So you can see the veg, you just cut it into chunks, like that. If you strain this off, you don't get any fat in the sauce, the chicken fat. That's all your chicken fat that's in there, that white bits over there that comes from the skin. So then I've got this mixture then ready to make that base for our sort of pie. With this now, we can then take our chicken, and all we want to do with this is just rip it apart. And you can just break it all up like this. So you're really using every single bit of it. You can take your time with this and really get right into there and take every single bit of this chicken off, because the only thing left should be the carcass, the little bones that we've got in here. So break it all apart like that. There we go. Take your time with this as well. And then not forgetting the chicken breast over there. We can break it all up and just rip it up into sort of chunks rather than sort of small pieces as well. And you can really go to town and take every single bit of this apart, like that. If I had more time, I'd do that, but just to show you. So break it all apart like that. And then you end up with a beautiful base, which that is. Then what we're going to do is then add a few bits of filling to this. And the filling comes in the form of two things, really, for this one. I've got some water chestnuts. Water chestnuts are actually not a nut, they're a vegetable. They're wonderful, usually in tins, like that. But they're a sort of a vegetable that people don't really use that much, but particularly with chicken pie, I think this is delicious. Now, I learnt to cook this chicken pie when I was about 8, 9 years old, working in a place called Castle Howard. It was a beautiful, stately home. I was in the kitchens there when I was a young kid. And one of the chefs used to do this quite a lot. And I always remember this. This is a chicken and water chestnut pie. And ever since I was a young kid, I loved the flavour of this. But you just put the water chestnuts in, like that. And then we add some tarragon. So rather than add the tarragon early, you can add the tarragon now. We just chop it up, like that. And you get this beautiful fresh flavour from it as well. But tarragon over the top, like that. Touch of black pepper and a bit of salt. We season in the filling as well, like that. But then I'll just pop this on. Because really, it's as much about this as it is about this. This can be the key of it, this stock over here. We're going to make a sauce with this. Now, the sauce for this isn't a bechamel. It's actually called a velouté. It's made in exactly the same way. Bechamel's done with flour and butter and milk, usually. Milk that's infused with an onion cloutier, which I've said before, which is an onion, bay leaf and a little bit of clove. This is done exactly the same way without the onion cloutier, because you've got the flavour of this. But instead of the milk, we're actually using the stock from the chicken. And you can do this with fish stock. Traditionally, it's done with chicken stock. But it's wonderful. Take a little bit of butter in the pan. Now, you do need quite a bit of flour with this. That's the key to this one. So when you're doing this, it's actually probably 3 times as much flour as it is to a normal white sauce. So plain flour goes in. And then we make a little roux, first of all, with this one. So you want to cook out this flour just for a little bit, for about a minute or two, but don't burn it. So you're not frying the butter. You're not colouring it, you're just cooking out that flour a little bit. There we go. So once we get to that stage, my best advice really is get rid of this spatula until later and turn your attention to a whisk. So this will stop it from going lumpy. But what you want to do is you want to take this stock and add a little at a time. So if you keep it on the heat, you keep mixing it, this will actually start to come together. Now, it'll get very, very thick to start off with. See that mixture's now getting thicker, then you add a little bit more. And do this in stages. Now, you're going to end up with a little bit more stock than you need, but don't forget, this stuff is amazing. Brilliant for soups and stews. You can freeze this, it's brilliant, so don't throw it away. So much flavour in there as well. So get it nice like that, a little bit more maybe. And then what I like to do is just enrich it. And I say enrich it, the enrichment side of it is just some cream, just a touch of double cream. Like that. Just pop a little bit of double cream in. And you'll see the sauce change colour and it'll go lovely and white like that. And then what we do is we take this, we pour that over the top of the chicken, like that. And then what I like to do is leave this and let it go cold in the fridge. I do this in stages because it's very difficult to top this with puff pastry with a hot liquid. So pop this in the fridge, only once an hour, something like that, just to take the heat off it, really. And then what I've got on here is one that I've done, because then what we can do is turn our attention to topping this. I've got some puff pastry. Now, when you're making a pie this sort of size, sometimes you have to double up the pastry. So I've got some pastry over here. This is actually 2 sheets. You don't stick it together with a little bit of egg or anything. You just lay one on top of each other. That's all you need. And then what we're going to do is take some egg wash over here, just a little bit of egg yolk, and just go around the edge. This is the glue around the pie. Using a rolling pin, we'll roll this out a little bit more. Now, try not to add flour to this too much. So you roll this out a little bit, and you want it a couple of mil thick. really. If it's too thin, it's not going to cook. It's going to go soggy. If it's too thick, it's going to take ages to cook. So a couple of mil is all you need. And then pop it over the top and use a knife and just trim off the edges. You want about sort of 2 centimetres all the way around the edge of the pie dish, something like that. That's all you're looking for. Now keep the trim as well. Now, a lot of people, what they will do with this is they will trim this off too close. I actually like pies that have got that crusty bit of pastry around the edge. And for that, you need a little bit more than you need. So we're just going to egg wash this. So I actually like to leave a little bit of this around the edge. Now, a lot of people, what they would do is crimp it first. I actually crimp it afterwards because I find it easier once it's egg washed than trying to egg wash the crimp. So you get plenty of egg wash over the top like that. There we go. Take your time with this one as well. Now, the great thing about that, if you wanted to freeze the pie, then I would do all this, and just before you put it in the oven, that's when I would freeze it. So you garnish it, everything, so you can freeze the whole thing, glaze the lot. And then take your fingers and thumbs and you press this, sort of fold and press at the same time. So you're just crimping the pastry with your finger and thumb. There we go. In a random way. And I actually like this rustic bit of pastry because this goes lovely and crisp as well. Now, as it cooks, sometimes it'll leak into the pie. It doesn't matter. It's all to do with the flavour of that filling, like that. And once you get to that stage, you see it's a lot easier when you egg wash it first. And then finally, we can then take a little bit of the pastry, touch of flour over here, and we can garnish this. So you can just press this out, nice and thin. There you go. Now you want to get this nice and thin for these. These are just nice little leaves. The easiest way to make the leaves and make them nice is to cut them out first, like that. Anyway, you can just do any sort of line, like that. Take this out. I'll show you one. You can do as many as you want over the pie. But then to finish these off, a little bit of egg wash over the top. And instead of using a cook's knife, you actually use a table knife. And you take the table knife and you turn it upside down, so that's the knife that you eat with. You turn it over and then you use that flat blade to press and put on these leaves, like that. So just go down the middle like that, press either side of there, and then when you twist and turn it and put it on, you can put these leaves on. You can put as many as you want. So again, back of the knife, press it like this, press it like that, over there. Like I said, if you want to freeze this, this is when you put it in the freezer. Take it out, let it defrost overnight in the fridge, and then bake it in the oven exactly as I've done. Half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that, about 190 degrees. This is going to go in there. This is looking good. And then we've got a beautiful chicken pie when it comes out. And then grab yourself a plate. Remember, that sauce is the key to it as well. That lovely velouté, but you've got the crusty bit of pastry, which is exactly what you want. There you go. We can lift this out. And there you have it, your beautiful chicken pie with water chestnuts. Quite unusual to put water chestnuts in there, but it's one of those things, like I said, I remember that as a kid, and they taste absolutely delicious. But you can see that sauce, the texture of the sauce is exactly what you want. Made it slightly thicker to begin with, so when it's mixed with the chicken and everything else, it's about bang on. There we have it, a simple little chicken pie. Done. And if there's anything you'd like to learn about a little Masterclass, then do get in touch with me, see if we can help out right here on the show. Time now for a quick break, but join me again in a couple of minutes when one of the best chefs in Britain, Claude Bosi, will be firing up these very hobs. I'll see you after the break. It's not bad, that, is it? Welcome back. Now we're serving up a show-stopping chicken dish for Lisa Snowdon. That's coming up next. But first, Johnny's here and has already cooked for us, so it's time to put your feet up and enjoy a dish of your own from a chef who left the French city of Lyon behind to become a leading light of the London restaurant world. It's the brilliant, the fabulous Claude Bosi! Good to have you back, Chief.
Pleasure to be here.
Since your last time, you're so busy, which we're going to talk about as well.
Yeah.
What are you going to do first? Something classically French?
We're making something very classic from where I'm from, saucisson brioché.
Right, okay.
Or if you want to, it would be like a sausage rolls with a brioche.
Sausage rolls and a brioche. So it starts off with a brioche. You want me to make that first?
You're on brioche duty.
So brioche is. Well, you're going to explain what you.
Flour,
Yep.
egg, yeast, sugar, salt, butter.
Yeah. So you want all this, and then you add the eggs, little at the end, and then you add the butter.
That's it. That's it.
Got that. All right. So I've not changed that one. So in we go with that. In we go with everything else. So what are you going to be doing? You're making the sauce for this.
Look, we've got a sauce. With that dish, we've got like a red wine sauce.
Yep.
It's made with wine from Burgundy, with part of it. Look, we have the new place we're doing with Josephine. We're trying to keep everything from the same area where it's from, or we would use Beaujolais wine or to make that sauce.
Now tell me about the new place, because you've got. Let me put that on for you.
Yep.
So you've got the new place, but you just opened this. This is the brasserie bit that you just opened last time. You've opened a second one.
No, we did Soca on Safford Street to the Mediterranean Bistro.
Yeah.
After that, we thought, let's find some more time, and we did the Peninsula.
Right.
Look, we've got
just a small little site in the central London.
We've got the top floor of the Peninsula Hotel, where we've got a beautiful signature restaurant. Yeah. And I would say one of the bars with the best view in London.
And the whole thing is based, I believe it's based on, is it Cars Brooklyn?
That's it, Brooklyn. Donc Brooklyn is based on the car museum in Surrey. And it's all about car and, all about car. No, but the design's been really strong about car, plane, the owner of
you've gone from what is two restaurants at your place, Bibendums, because you've got upstairs and downstairs. The downstairs, we can explain it. Downstairs is the sort of casual bit.
Yeah, but on Bibendum, we've got the signature restaurant on the first floor, and we've got the oyster bar in the bottom.
Yeah.
And after that, we decide we're going to do another bistro. That is a bistro from Lyon. This I've been waiting to do this for a long time.
Tell me, I mean, those people haven't been... Basically, this, I'll keep this machine going, I'll switch it off now, but you basically add the butter this, add the softened butter to it, keep it going. That's going to make your brioche over there, which you've got.
For the sauce, we've got the shallot. We try to give a bit of caramelization to the shallot.
Yeah.
A bit of salt to get the water coming out. Garlic, thyme.
But you mentioned Lyon. You said you've always wanted to do that because Lyon is... If people think gastronomic capitals of France, they think Paris. I think Lyon.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Who said Paris?
You
have to be a Parisian who said that. You can't be a Lyonnais.
I think it's Lyon, no?
Yeah, it is Lyon.
Said?
All the way.
What makes that the food capital? I know you're from there, but what
I think the produce
around it. What?
I think the produce is around. You know, we've got all the Rhône Valley with a great vegetable.
Yeah.
We've got amazing meat. We're not too far from the sea, but yeah, it's just the overall city by himself. It's just amazing, and we have so many great chefs in this part who have made this city the capital of gastronomy. And this is we're very lucky. I mean, I remember going to market when the old chef was there with Paul Bocuse and.
Well, you've got to walk around the Bocuse market, and you realize. I mean, that is just pretty special.
This is special. And if you go to the quai zone, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Okay, the brioche you have made.
Yeah.
Let me just. Donc I've got I'm going to fold it.
The temptation is to add too much flour to this, but
no, you don't want to. You want it to be sticky.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to. Donc you can fold it if you want to, but the idea of it is I put it in the bottom of the bowl.
I get the feeling this is the type of food that you love as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is quite special here, watching Claude cook this food that he loves. It's amazing.
Yeah, this is you got a sausage who's been, I cook it in the water first.
So tell me what this is.
So this is a morteau sausage.
The last person who did this was Raymond Blanc.
That's it?
Here, yeah.
Did you use morteau sausage?
He did this, yeah. Well, not this, but he did morteau sausage. He did.
Yeah, I love morteau sausage.
He did it with onions and potatoes, I believe.
Yeah, a bit of smokiness.
That would be right, yeah.
But in Lyon, we will use normally a saucisson with pistachio in it.
Right.
And we will cook it in water, like this one's been cooked before.
Okay.
You just fold it. At home, that's what use a mold is easier, because you can fold it. You don't have to worry about it. And the brioche will take its own space.
It'll all just, as it proves up anyway, it just fills in.
It will prove up, it will just full up. So you can make something a bit more fancy if you want to, but for home, this is perfect.
Yeah. So this is one of the ideas that you've got. The idea is to open the brasseries to different areas in London, but the menus associated with different areas for each different brasserie. Is that
exactly.
Right?
The idea of it is I want them to have all their identity, completely different than each other.
You're not making life easy for yourself, are you?
Do you know, I used to have somebody who used to say, why making your life easy when you can make it difficult?
Yeah, you are making it difficult.
So you leave it proof for a little bit.
Yeah.
Leave it proof on the side, and after a while, when it starts proving, you cook it, and it will come out like this. So let me clear this mess first.
Put that bowl there. There you go.
Thank you.
So then you leave that for how long to prove? How long would you?
That will take 20 minutes somewhere warm in the kitchen. 20 minutes.
Get rid of all this. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's the pastry chef in me.
Thank you very much. You've done that before.
It comes off.
Yeah.
It comes off.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Sorry, Chef.
Learn
I'm a
something every
chef. I'm
day.
not a pastry chef. I don't like pastry. It's too messy.
Well, somebody's got to make the brioche, haven't they?
That's it. That's why I did it. So you've got the shallot, the garlic, the thyme. Red wine's been reduced half, and you put some port.
Port in this as well.
A bit of port. Okay.
So how do you find that transition? Because you've gone from what is to you still. I mean, the highlight for you is. I mean, I've eaten there several times. Been lucky enough to eat there. Bibendum is very, very special.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Probably one of the most beautiful dining rooms in London.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
You know what?
Stunning.
This and I was saying earlier, I'm so lucky because in between Brooklyn and this one, I've got 2 rooms that are so spectacular. It's really, really lucky. Look, we've got Bibendum is French orientation. Big. Oh yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. Oof, it's made that look.
Look, we're going to. Look, you can. If you come out of the oven, you can eat it hot. I like fry it in a bit of butter.
You're looking at me, bud. Do you want me to say yes?
Yeah. Just to make it a bit more.
Okay?
A bit more.
Just look at this. Look at that. It's just.
Yeah.
And this is smoky. You can buy this online.
You buy them online. You buy them online. They're a bit smoky. But I'm sure the people who's going to look at that show of my team, they say, why are they frying? Because we never talk about frying it. Right. But I think it's nice.
So frying a little bit of oil and butter.
Oil first to make sure the butter doesn't burn too fast. Okay. That's it, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so we decided to do, after Bibendum, we said, okay, let's do something a bit more from where I'm from. And we find this beautiful site in Chelsea, like 10-minute walk from Bibendum. Yeah. And it's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
So are you spending all your time going around in a moped between all of them then? Is that what you're doing?
I'm based at Bibendum most of the time. I do a couple of days in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Soka, I've got an amazing team. I try to do some lunch services because we close the lunch at...
And it's not just the restaurant that you've got at the hotel, which is a beautiful view overlooking Hyde Park and beyond. You've got a bar as well. The bar is fantastic.
The bar is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Really, really amazing. It's... we've got this beautiful view. We've got a great cocktail.
I'm just watching that butter go in one cube at a time.
Slowly. Beautiful. Slowly.
Right, so the potatoes.
How's your hand?
You seriously want me to peel these?
Last time you did a great job.
Okay, yeah, come on. Yeah. Do you really
do we have to peel them? No, let's not peel them.
Do you really need peeled potatoes?
You know what? When I came to this country, I realized you were eating skin.
Yeah, we like skin.
I know that. I realize that. It's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I can see that. You eat the skin. You eat the skin and you leave the potatoes to me. Okay, the port and red wine, I've read, you said?
Right. Can I leave the skin on?
Yeah, leave the skin on. We just roll it a bit in butter, will be fine.
I'll leave the skin on.
Yeah, leave the skin on.
There we go. It's better with the skin on.
I think so.
Life's too short. You're outvoted 2-1, skin on.
He's fine with that.
He's ignoring me. He's ignoring it. This moment, he's ignoring it.
Yeah, no. I got something very special here. I can't do 2 things at a time.
Right. I've got plates here.
This.
So where is this in terms of on your menu? If people want to taste this, this is the brasserie bit.
This will be part of the menu des Canuts, which from Lyon. And okay, donc the cuisine lyonnaise is all about sauces.
Yeah.
That's all it's about. A good sauce, you can put anything in it. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, I remember one of the magical dishes that I saw you cook for the first time. You brought in this amazing pork pie.
Ah, yes.
You pan-fried scallops and then took the pork pie and put it in a food processor.
Yeah.
Somebody had painstakingly in your kitchen made this beautiful pork pie.
You could do that with this, you know that.
And just pureed it in a food processor. It's amazing.
The shine there.
Look at that. So give us the name of this dish.
Saucisson brioché, Beaujolais sauce. And
That's
little potatoes we didn't want to...
We didn't want to peel. They're brilliant. Claude Bosi, everybody. Right, there we have it.
Thank
Bon appetit, dive in.
Thank you.
I'll give you a couple of potatoes
give some spot.
with the skin on.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Chief.
Thank
Make that.
you.
I mean, you can have a taste of this. Go on then. Go on then. Tell me what you think.
Oh, it's fat.
Right, here we go. Beautiful, that, isn't it?
I'll go for more.
What a great dish.
And so simple.
Yeah,
It's
there's
a
so
sausage.
much flavour in this, though.
Oh, yeah. And the one we're using from Lyon with pistachio nut. And the flavor of it, and you got the fat contents who go in a brioche.
Lovely.
Huh? For breakfast, an egg on top of it.
So proper, leave the skin on, though.
Yeah,
there you go.
leave the
Claude
skin
Bosi,
on. Thank you very
everybody.
much. Thank you.
Right, that is fantastic. There we go. Right, we've got time for one more final recipe
Love
this
it.
morning. So join us in a couple of minutes. We'll be serving a delicious plate of chicken for all of my guests, including Lisa Snowden. See you after the break. This is delicious. Beautiful, mate.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back, sadly, to the last part of the show. Right, it's going to be a good one. I'm back in the kitchen with all my guests. We've got Johnny, Claude, and my guest, Lisa Snowden. Right, so I'm trying to think what to cook for these guys. Not only you, Lisa, but we've got the greatest, two of the greatest chefs in the world next to you as well.
I know, not
And I'm
worthy.
thinking, no pressure with me, really. We've got a MasterChef winner and two of the greatest chefs in the world. Like, what am I going to cook? And this is how weird life is. I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to cook anything fancy. I'm going to go old school. And I'm going to do a dish that I remember from my childhood. It was a dish that I remember eating as a young kid, as a young chef, working in France, and it's chicken with vinegar. Now, it may sound a bit odd,
Yeah.
but I think it's one of the nicest sort of stews. It's right up there to me with chicken chasseur, all that kind of stuff, but it's a dish that you never see.
Bourguignon, chicken cockle.
You never really see it as a Frenchman?
No. I haven't seen it in England. I know Johnny's doing it in his restaurant, but I never see it. It's a proper peasant dish.
Now, Lisa, we talked earlier about the book and bits and pieces, bits and bobs. We've got to recap on the book. This is the book. Those people who are just waking up.
Yeah.
You've written it. I'm going to give it to these gentlemen. I'm going to give it to these gentlemen tonight, and then I'm going to text you tomorrow.
Brilliant.
No pressure. You've got to read the whole thing.
Sell it to the gentleman to your right.
Okay, so yeah, it's so I do touch on women's hormones and menopause and the kind of new phase in our lives, and it's kind of a book about hope. It's like embracing this new phase. It's our second spring. It's like it's doing all the things that you've always wanted to do, setting aside all the kind of the time restraints that society puts on you, saying now you're 50 or you're 60 and you have to just step back and give up. You have to this is a whole flip it on its head, go out there and do what you want to do. Go out and
chapter
own
4,
it.
it's got recipes in it.
It's got recipes,
Yeah, exactly.
it's got advice on self-acceptance, it's got movement, it's got self-care, it's got stuff on the saucy side of life and reinvigorating that. You might like that chapter.
Which chapter is that one? Is it before the food or
James, do you
after the
remember?
food?
Chapter 5 is something completely different.
But it's all sorts of stuff, and it's basically, there's lots of bits about my life as well. It's not a self-help book, it's not a kind of biography either, but it's It's not an autobiography, but
This
it's
is
got
your
lots of
first
stuff.
book. I thought you would have written a book by now. I genuinely thought. Lisa must have a book out there.
I didn't think I had a book in me, but I actually really enjoyed the process.
But like an autobiography, that kind of book, or
Yeah, no,
it doesn't interest you any of it?
No, not really. I mean, maybe one day in the future I'll write a bit more, the juicy stuff of what I've done in my life. But right now, this was a book to help women. It was a book that I didn't have when I was 10 years younger. In my early 40s, so yeah.
But I've got to mention MasterChef as well, because you went on to win MasterChef. You're surrounded by chefs. The greater ones are that direction, but you're surrounded by chefs as well. We touched on it earlier. Your love of food, but the modelling side of it. It's not really renowned for sort of cooking and bits and pieces like that.
No, I know, but I love my food. I always have. I was lucky enough to go to Japan, for example, with my modelling career, and also to Milan. And so I got to eat some great pasta. Went to Paris and so got to eat some delicious food. And then Japan was kind of like the eye opener for me, with just yummy, delicious food.
I mean, you must have been to Japan.
I've been lucky enough to go a couple times.
You've been?
Yeah.
I've never been. It's a place
where. Are you kidding me?
No, it's on my list of places to go.
Oh my God! I'll take you there. We'll go to all my favourite spots.
Done. There we do.
Here we go. It would be amazing to take you there.
I've never been.
So good.
Done. So right, we've got a pilau rice over here. Now I don't know about these guys whether they would serve chicken with vinegar with mashed potato or with chips or whatever it is. It is a brasserie sort of dish. It's like a peasant dish. This is called. But I was always taught to do it with the rice like this. So you take the little cartouche over there. You make a little cartouche out of this. You can do as fancy as you want, but you're making a circle. A bit of greaseproof paper. You can cut the centre out like that, and you end up putting this over the top like that and leave it to one side. And I always remember the reason why they did this is because in fancy kitchens, the pans are about 150 quid. The lids are about 50 quid, so the chefs don't buy the lids. No. Yeah. It's true stuff.
Is that what you do?
So you don't have any lids. So you have to then make do, and you make a little cartouche. But that covers over the top. You cook that gently for about 10 minutes, turn it off, and that's your little pilau rice. This is the chicken with vinegar. So you start off, you've got all these ingredients over here. We've got tomato puree, the mustard, everything else. And I use red wine vinegar for this and a bit of white wine. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys would probably change this recipe a little bit. Would you? Maybe a little bit?
Different vinegar?
If I'm making it at home, I would definitely use red wine vinegar.
Red wine vinegar.
In the restaurant, we use a muscat vinegar.
So you just put that on. So this is a little bit of stock. I've got some tarragon over here. This is just how I remember this. But trust me, when I did this dish for the first time, I was probably about this sort of high.
I can't believe you were that small. I can't believe you were
honestly, and I couldn't speak a word of French. But I remember doing this as an 8-10-year-old and just in awe at these flavours, these tomatoes. And then they take vinegar that you used to put on your fish and chips back home in Whitby, and we'd take vinegar and you pour that over the top.
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
This is red wine vinegar.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of vinegar, and you put that over the top, and then you cook it. Now, you don't have to put the lid on it, but you cook it as it is. You can either put the lid on it and stew it on the stove, but I actually like it when it's in the oven, because as it's in the oven, it reduces down and cooks nicely, and we just lift this out. But look.
Well, that looks amazing.
You've got this chicken and vinegar on there.
Good, actually.
Mm-hmm. Eh? But then the whole point about this, I think, chefs over the years, and you guys will appreciate this, what our chefs do, we reduce this down, add a little bit up to finish it off. I think that the key to this is just leaving it as it is. You just want to leave it, and it soaks in all that lovely juices, all that kind of stuff.
That's my favourite kind of way to eat, just like that, kind of one pot, family style, yummy.
Yeah, you take some salt, some pepper, and then right at the last minute, I'm going to throw in some parsley and a little bit more tarragon over the top. Over the top like that. So this would be a great dish, you see. Next time I see you on this morning, we could do this. In fact, you could do this and I could commis for you as well while you're doing this.
That'd be amazing. I'll steal your recipe.
So this goes over the top. There's got to be a cookbook in you there, doesn't
I think so. I did find the recipes were the hardest section of the book because I'm not very precise when I cook. I just throw it in, and so you have to be really 2 teaspoons. It has to be really measured out, doesn't it? Because obviously you want them to be really creative.
I'm going to find these recipes in here.
Don't find the recipe. No, exactly. So it has to be really precise. And I just go, well, I haven't got any of this, so I just throw this in, and I just kind of taste it as I go along. And I'm a natural chef, Claude. What can I say?
I'm going to show the gentleman here the recipes. These are the recipes. So you've got a whole chapter on the recipes.
They're really basic, guys. It's just easy.
And then the next chapter.
Hello,
Yeah.
Ooh la la! Ooh la la!
Hello, you.
But look,
Straight from dinner.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's just the romance, right? That hasn't died.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I found it quite tricky to do the recipes, but you know, it's all really easy, achievable food that is good for us, nutritious and yummy.
I wish you all the best of luck with it.
Thank you so much, James. Oh, he's
That
excited.
reminds me as a young kid. They're just, you know, I'm panicking because I've got to serve these guys up over here. And of all the years I've been doing this, I've been doing, 7 years now. Saturday mornings for 17, nearly 18 years. I feel there's more stress on me today than there ever has been, but
No.
hopefully you like this. So you got the pila rice.
Oof, that looks good as well.
Sitting there. Now, sometimes you do this. I've had this in brasseries since then with mashed potato, a bit of pomfret, kind of stuff. But it's just this little bit of rice.
You have to be rice or mash. One of these two.
Rice or mash, would you say?
That's it, yeah.
But it's this is really unusual. And when you taste it, you get this flavour of vinegar, but then you get everything else from it as well.
How long would you say that you do leave it in the oven for?
I left this in the oven for about an hour, just
Okay.
simmering away nicely with the lid off.
Yeah.
And you get all these lovely flavours in it as well. Don't forget that lovely vinegar, but all that sits in. But the chicken thighs, I think, the key to this. You can do it with the whole chicken, cut it into portions, that's fine, but you get so much flavour out of the thighs as well. But this goes over the top and it soaks in all that rice. That is my chicken with vinegar, or I'm going to leave it, as the Frenchman would call it.
Poulet au vinaigre.
That sounds a little bit better.
Beautiful.
Job done. Bon appetit. The pressure is on. Because this is from your hometown, isn't it?
Come
This is-
on, look
Yes.
at that.
It looks phenomenal.
That's from Lyon.
Well, I'm dreading this, to be honest. It's not hard enough to cook for chefs, let alone these guys. But look,
I feel like I'm...
you almost don't want the rice, you want bread with it, really.
Yes.
I suppose,
Yeah,
I
just
want
bread.
to try this vinegar first. This sauce. You can still taste the vinegar, right? I didn't expect
Yeah.
it to be... Oh, it's
But all-
lovely, though. It's so sharp and zingy. And...
But all the harshness of the vinegar is
Ooh.
gone. It's kind of cooked down with the fat of the chicken.
I'm going to ask you a question. I know a lot of people are watching this, but you need to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
Are you from France?
I hate to disappoint you, but I need to have a chat with my mum first.
That is lovely.
You like that?
Absolutely.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of those dishes. I just think it's absolutely... People look at it and go, you mentioned you wouldn't choose it on a menu, but once you taste it, it's got to be like this classic sort of brasserie dish. You get it in a bowl with some bread and nice glass of wine and... Yeah, lovely.
It's hearty and wholesome
Good.
and just, oof,
Perfect
lovely.
end to the perfect day. I'm glad you're all enjoying that. I can sleep better now. That's all we've got time for today. Massive thank you to all my guests, Nigel and Joe Eden, Claude Bosey, Johnny Lake, and of course, Lisa Snowden. I can relax now. My work is done. We'll see you back at the same time next Saturday morning. We'll be joined by chefs Atul Kutcher, Sabrina Gita, ex-F1 star Karan Chanduk will be here, and the very funny Dom Jolly. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. See you next weekend.
Yay, cheers!
Fast delivery. Thrilling entertainment. Join Prime for $8.99 a month.